Bernoulli Trials. So Bernoulli Trials only have two outcomes, and both of those outcomes are independent from each other, and the number of trials are always fixed. So an example of Bernoulli trials are flipping a coin, only getting a head or a tail, kicking a goal in soccer, you can either score or not score. When a child is born, it can be either male or female. And an example of a trial that's not a Bernoulli trial would be rolling a dice, because there's 6 options, not just 2, unless you want to think about when rolling the dice, if you're only interested in rolling, let's say, a 6, that you could either get 6 or not a 6. Now, that means that we're only interested in 2 things, either success or failure. And for success, we can say that the probability of success will be P, and the probability of failure will be 1 minus P. And for a Bernoulli trial, or a Bernoulli random variable, we would often give the probability of success will denote the variable being a 1, and for a failure, it'll be 0. Now, the way we can define this in terms of the correct notation, so a Bernoulli random variable, the probability can be defined as a score having a probability that either equals P or 1 minus P, and that's if it's going to be P if x equals 1 and 1 minus P if x equals 0. So this is going to help us define a Bernoulli random variable. So our probability distribution table will look something like this, where we have a score that can either be 0 or 1, depending on success or failure. And this is going to be the probability of that score. And remember, if we were successful, having a 1, the probability was P, and if we were unsuccessful, it'd be 1 minus P. And from here we can show where our expected value and variance comes from. So our expected value of x we get as the score multiplied by the probabilities all added together. So we're going to get 0 times 1 minus P plus 1 times P. So 0 times all of this is going to be 0, and 1 times P is P. So that's where we get the expected value of x being P from. And we know our variance of x equals the expected value of x squared minus the expected value all squared. So our expected value of x squared, let's just do that over here. That's just going to be squaring our value for x, so 0 squared, times its probability of 1 minus P, plus squaring our value for x, 1 squared, times its value of probability, which is P, 0 times all of this is going to be 0, and 1 squared times P is just going to be P. So then we're going to get this all being P minus our expected value squared, so we get minus P squared. Factorizing out P, we get 1 minus P, and that's how our variance of x equals P times 1 minus P.